People that's out there here in Singapore, thank you so much for joining me on the Night Owl podcast, you guys. It's been a wonderful day. It's been a lot of content. It's been kind of busy, but I'm good with that, you know? I'm really good. So let's see. This is the 15th. It's a Sunday again, chilling out, trying to get my act together, and I came across a post that is not the first time I've seen this, but it's the first time I saw it and was like, you know what? Let me just handle this for a second because obviously this is what everybody thinks and it's easy to think that way, but I don't want you to get all excited about it because let me tell you what the concept is first of all. Let's talk manipulation. Everybody wants to talk about narcissists and manipulations and, gosh, what else? Abusive people, people who, oh gosh, I don't even know. Like, there are so many words that come to mind, but the kinds of people who hurt on purpose, right? That's what we're trying to get at. The kinds of people who hurt on purpose, they're the bad guys. They're the ones that are over there. They're not me. I can't possibly be a person who hurts people on purpose, and I'm not one person that manipulates things, and I'm not the kind of person who could possibly ever be narcissistic because those people over there. But let me bring it back closer to home a little bit, shall I? Are you ready? You sure? Okay, here we go. So I saw this post the other day. It's a friend of mine's page, and she was talking about the fact that, let me see if I can bring up the thing. Manipulation is a skilled art of a narcissistic person. And if you read the caption, it goes on to talk about how, of course, narcissism can be very traumatic and mentally detrimental if you're exposed to the inner workings of these people. And yes, under one definition, Cherie Steins says that manipulation is an emotionally unhealthy psychological strategy used by people who are incapable of asking for what they want and need in a direct way. So they manipulate. But if you look it up on Google, because that's exactly what I did first, because there are so many connotations in this day and age, especially since, mental health is like a buzzword right now. Manipulate means to edit, alter, or move. Okay, it also means to handle or control. So in this regard, I want to talk about manipulation and how I manipulate. Yeah, it's not good, but I do it. Sometimes it's a coping mechanism, and sometimes it's just the only way I can get through the day. Ever have to get in front of somebody and they ask you how you feel about something? It could be like how they dressed, what their makeup looks like, how their hair looks, or how their song was, how their dance piece was, how their acting was. And you love them dearly, and you don't want to hurt their feelings, so you edit or alter the truth when you tell them. Is that or is that not manipulation? Somebody help me out. Tell me. What do you think? Is that manipulation or not? If I am invited somewhere and I really don't feel like going and I'm trying to figure out why I should or shouldn't, or what can I have the chicken pox all of a sudden, or can I kill off a grandparent? Like something stupid where I don't have to go and do this thing, right? Is that or is that not manipulation? Is that or is that not editing or altering the truth? Controlling someone's experience, right? Let's say my daughter and I are going out somewhere and I'm lost, like really thoroughly lost. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I missed the bus stop or what I'm going, I don't know which direction I'm facing in the first place. And my GPS is not working the greatest. You know how Google be tripping sometimes, right? So I'm out here in the middle of I don't know where, trying to get to some place where it's going to be a surprise for baby girl. And she asked me, "Hey, mommy, how much longer till we get there?" And I'm like, don't know. And she asked me that question, "Are we lost?" And I'm about to bald-faced lie to her. "No, babe, this is an adventure. Just come on. We're going to go this way." Tell me, am I manipulating her? Am I controlling and deceiving her experience? Hell yeah, I am. Yes, I am. And it's not to hurt her. But I am trying to save face and not tell her that I'm lost, because I know for a fact that if I tell her I'm lost, she's going to start freaking out, and then I'm going to start freaking out, and we're both going to be basket cases. It's not good. It's not a good look. I've tried it before. So I've learned from my mistakes, right? And I don't tell her that I'm lost. Same thing, if I have plans to go somewhere and it's like a movie show at a specific time or a dinner date with somebody or something, if we have plans to go somewhere, I'm not going to tell her the plan because I know her. She gets very, very, very high strung if we deviate from the plan even a little bit. If we miss the movie time by 15 minutes, she go flip the hell out and she go stress me out. Now me, I'm more like water. She is a little more solid than that, and she does not like change very well. She's a kid, okay? So what do? I don't tell her where we're going. I don't know, tell her what the plan is. She goes, "Ma, you want me to get dressed up? Okay, cool. What do I need to wear?" I tell her what she needs to wear. And if she needs like anything extra, I'm gonna pack it in my bag so she can't see it. But when she asks me for details, I'm like, what do you care? You come with me or not? Because I am not gonna tell her the plan. Because if anything changes, I'm gonna catch hell from my 9-year-old. So am I or am I not manipulating? Am I or am I not lying to her? Am I or am I not distorting, altering, editing, deceiving her? What do you think? How many of y'all get in front of your family members on a weekend? I mean, come on, Deepavali coming up, right? How many of y'all get in front of family members after you haven't seen them in a while, and they ask you how they look, or they ask you about your life? Okay, this is a good one, right? Everyone asks you, oh, are you seeing anyone right now? What's your job like? How are you doing? And you come up with the most fantastic lie ever. Oh man, I'm up for a promotion. I'm doing real good. Like I'm making 5 figures and stuff. Like, yeah, I'm doing it. Well, let's say you're a small business owner and somebody comes and sits in front of you and they're like, oh my God, how are you doing? How's your business? It's great. I started yesterday. It's great. I've been in business for a year. Oh my God, I'm fucking fantastic. Social media is great. How many of y'all have lied to somebody on purpose? Is that or is that not manipulation? Is that or is that not a coping mechanism to keep your ass safe? Because you do not want to deal with the confrontation that comes after telling the truth. I'm not saying the truth is overrated. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying sometimes you want to save people from their feelings. Sometimes you want to save yourself from their feelings. Okay? So I want to know, is it really manipulation? And is it only the bad guys that do it? Or do all of us freaking do it? And sometimes we are the bad guy in somebody else's life. And sometimes it's okay. It's a white lie and it's tiny and it's all right. We can brush it off. In this particular post, they were talking about the fact that there are narcissists that manipulate, right? And it says, Cherie Steins that said that manipulation is an emotionally unhealthy and psychological strategy used by people who are incapable of asking for what they want and need in a direct way. Now, that is partially true. I'm going to agree to part of that. Yes, those people have a tough time saying what they mean, meaning what they say, asking for what they need, drawing boundaries, because not everyone takes the boundaries very well. Not everyone accepts it when there is a differing point of view. Not everyone can handle that stuff. Sometimes, when you draw a boundary, the other person reacts violently. Let me give you an example. I asked my ex-husband for help once with something. And instead of offering the help, he asked me to go figure it out by myself. Which is not a bad thing. My mom does that. Like, look it up, Ma, how do you do this? Go look it up. Damn it. Okay, why'd I go ask you? Right? But when you say, hey, I came to you because I need your help because you've done this before, and they start flipping out and yelling at you, what do? How do you manage that? And I know now, looking back, he wasn't mad at me. He wasn't yelling at me because I asked him for help. He had other shit on his mind, which he could have very easily said, you know what? Hey, you know what? I would love to help you right now. I'm kind of stressed. I got other stuff on my mind. Can you go find the answer somewhere else? That would have been really cool. But he didn't know how to do that. And so he flipped out instead. And this happens all the time. All right? That means two people who don't know how to ask what they want, or don't know if they're safe enough to ask for what they want or say what they need, right? And so you sidestep the entire issue. This is why there's so many elephants living in living rooms everywhere, all over the world, right? Because we are too scared to say what we mean. We'd rather avoid the issue altogether. You ever have a fight with somebody, and then that topic is off bounds because if you even look like you're about to say the word that relates to it, they're going to flip out, like just on principle. They're going to come out swinging, like really. They're not having none of that. But what do you do in those situations? You can't sidestep it forever. It's going to be less and less things you can talk about. This is why I talk about the fact that triggers, right? You need to heal your triggers. Because eventually, if you avoid these triggers, something else is going to trigger you. That's going to add to the list. And suddenly you have a pile of triggers, things you can and can't do, right? Things you can and can't talk about. What's left? Netflix? I don't know. Yeah, baby girl sitting here listening to me. She's like, apparently I'm funny today. I don't know. I'm in a mood, y'all. Can you tell?
Wait,
Look.
Netflix.
Shh. Let me finish my thoughts. Thank you. My friend went on to say healing is crucial. Healing stops you from projecting parts of your unattended wounds onto others. Healing increases your awareness from attracting such toxic people. And you know what? Yes, that is true. But I want to ask you about toxic people. If I'm the hero in my story, there is a chance that I'm the demon in yours. And because I'm the demon in yours, does that make me toxic, or does that make me not equipped to handle all relationships? And some relationships are just not great relationships. When I think toxic, I think hazardous waste. I think nuclear problems. Okay?
Hazardous waste.
Hazardous waste, yeah. It's got a toxic sign on it.
That means toxic poop.
I wasn't talking about poop, but thank you. You are now part of this podcast. Shh. Anyway, let me step off that sidetrack. I think toxic waste. I think hazardous waste. I think stuff that, you touch it and it destroys you. Now, toxic people have that capacity if you are not able to handle change. If you come into contact with someone who is not healed, someone who is still suffering from PTSD or any one of the number of traumas they may have, lived through in their lives, yes, then they are projecting parts of themselves onto you. But guess what? If you are healed, if you are balanced, if you know a little bit about life, you've been through hell a little bit, you came right back with no problems, and now you recognize hell when you see it, but you don't sidestep it because you know what you need to do to hang tight, to be steady. When you encounter a toxic person, then you know how not to be affected by them. Let me tell you something. I've come into contact with so many young men out here. And I'm picking on the men right now because it's my experience. I am heterosexual and I'm attracted to men, and this is what I lived through. But I know there are plenty of women out here that do this shit too, so let's listen up, right? I have met so many people out there who, because of past relationships, will immediately determine that you are just like their last relationship, and they will treat you accordingly. It's kind of like building a house with the bricks from your last house after it was destroyed, right? Instead of starting brand new with fresh bricks that aren't half broken and, hollow or whatever, they build up the same relationship because they're still expecting the same shit to happen, just like it did in the last relationship. So if you don't argue with them, they get upset, right? If you don't show them you're jealous, they get upset. They don't know that you love them enough. But jealousy is not a form of love. It doesn't show you that they love you. Jealousy is a form of insecurity. It's a form of fear, not love, right? So when you meet so-called toxic people that have been through some stuff, they came to you with some baggage. Everybody has baggage, right? You're over here expecting them to screw your life up because they're damaged. They're not whole. You show me one person who's whole, though. One person who's plugged all the holes in their body. They've found a way to heal all of those holes. You can have cavities. You can heal cavities. Did you know that? But it takes some time. It takes a little bit of know-how. You need to understand what it is in your body that causes cavities and not do that. So when it comes to toxic people, right? These people we'd rather not even bother with because they're just toxic. They're not toxic. They're missing something. They're hurt. They're scared. They're acting out because they haven't figured out how to fix it for themselves. And they haven't met anyone that can show them, hey, you are not broken. You are actually whole. You're missing a couple things. You're wholey, Holey. Does that make sense? I don't like the terms. I don't like the labels. And more than that, it's real easy for us to point the finger outwards and say, oh yeah, that person is toxic, that person is manipulative, that person is narcissistic. The minute we have a disagreement that doesn't go very well, the other person's narcissistic. The other person's selfish and self-indulgent. And oh my God, they don't care about nobody. And this is why they treat everyone like this. No. They haven't figured out how they can ask for things and feel safe. They haven't figured out who is safe to speak to and who's not. On the surface level, they can speak to anybody. But deep down, when they really need something, they don't know who to ask for help. And they don't know who they can trust with the vulnerability that tells the story of who they are and what they really need in life. So many people are too scared to let people in because they've been hurt before. Guess what? Narcissists are the same way. They are too scared to let people in because at some point or another, somebody took advantage of some information they had about them and hurt them on purpose. This is what happens when people argue sometimes. They sling mud at each other, right? I know all your secrets and all your fantasies and all your fears. And if you start to say something that makes me feel like you're, encroaching on my safety and my space, I'm going to bring up stuff from the past that I thought we already resolved, but I'm going to throw in your face anyway because this proves that you're not good enough for me. But I don't want you to leave, but I don't want you to control me. Like, how do you have a relationship like that? The point is, there is a fine line between manipulation and managing your life. Managing your life, yeah, you're going to tell a couple of white lies, you're going to do whatever you can just to get through the day. And it's not going to be your authentic self because not everyone can handle your authentic self. And until you get to a place where you don't care what people think of you, you don't care if you ruffle a couple of feathers, you don't care if you speak your mind and get told off for it at work or at home or in your friendships, right? Until you trust that you got the right people around you where you can really speak your mind and they're not going to kick you out the door for it, you're going to manipulate. You're going to manipulate. You're going to lie. You're going to cheat. You're going to pretend it didn't happen, right? You're going to go find what you need elsewhere rather than ask the people who you should be asking for what you need. You're going to cheat. You're going to adulter. Is that a word? Adulter? Adulterate? Adulter? I don't know. Manipulation is not out there. We do it on a daily basis. When we're late to work, we lie about why we're late to work. How many of you will tell your manager, hey, I'm going to be 10 minutes late? Or do you just show up when you show up and then deal with it when you deal with it? How many of you tell your manager you're late because you woke up late? Because you stayed up late drinking? Because whatever. How many of you are super honest? It doesn't always work that way. But that makes you a manipulator. You're manipulating the truth. You're not telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. You're telling the parts that won't get you in trouble. So, narcissism isn't out there. It's not in that other person. It's in us too. We all have that capacity. Manipulation, we all do that. We have that capacity. It's to which degree you do that and why you do it. Do you do it intentionally, or are you one of those pathological liars because it's become a coping mechanism that's become a habit? You do it without even thinking anymore because you've been doing it for so long. These are the questions, you guys. I want to know the answer. So you let me know if I made any kind of sense today because, yeah, I was a little more comical than usual. But I like this side of me, and I'm glad Baby Girl is here to kind of bring it out. It's different with an audience. But like I said, you got any questions or comments, drop them in the comments below. I want to hear from you. And in the meantime, learn to be honest with yourself. Own the fact that you do manipulate the truth on a daily basis. And the fact that you do on a daily basis means that you don't feel quite safe enough to be yourself. So look at your relationships and see how you can be better. See how you can make it easier for you to communicate and ask for the things you want. Because yeah, that's where manipulation comes from. A fear of not being able to be yourself or being accepted to be yourself. Alright? Alright. Rasati out. Bye.